show where everything is gold, and she's buying a stairway to Jive Town. When she gets there, she knows Shane opens the door, but it says you don't get no clothes off the rack there. And she's buying her stairway to Jive Town. Jive Town. Jive Town. Baby, we're in Jive Town. Somebody freaking clip these up, put them on Spotify, and make $1 million for your damn self. My heavens. The hits just keep coming. I'm like Beyonce. Or who's that other gal, that blonde gal? She's taking over the world? I'm like her, making all them tunes and shit, making all them good songs and stuff. Welcome one and all back to another stimulating episode of Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo. It's your best pal, your best damn friend in the world who cares about you deeply, cares about your mental, physical, and sociological health. We're here to do a podcast, people. We do it every single week. If you want to be part of the podcast, you want to get your comments read at the end of the podcast, and we do have those coming right up for you at the end of this. But we got an action-packed episode here. But if you want to see your comments, you go to the YouTube video. I put it up every single Saturday. And then you go there, put your comments, and we read them on the following episode. See, I couldn't read them right away. I'd have to wait till the next episode to read them, which we're now here doing. Do you know this guy right here? Hand on cheek, sadness and eye. Why? It's Robert Plant, and he says he probably will never play Stairway to Heaven again. I believe that he just played it somewhere. I could be wrong about that, but thank God for Blabbermouth, because they're going to set us straight on that. They will do all the history lessons that we need for this. Let's get into it. Robert Plant says he will probably, unless the money's right, let's not say absolutely no, probably never sing Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven again. In a new interview with Rolling Stone magazine, they've been on there a couple of times. You know, Kerry King, remember last week, he finally got on Rolling Stone. Congratulations to him for that. But these guys, Robert Plant, all over it. Robert Plant spoke about his performance of the Led Zeppelin classic Stairway to Heaven last October during a charity concert. Okay. For the cancer platform at Soho Farmhouse in Oxfordshire, organized by Duran Duran's Andy Taylor. Miss Althea, he's right there. Duran Duran's Andy Taylor. It marked Robert's first time singing the song in public since Led Zeppelin's 2007 performance at the O2 Arena in London, England, which was later released as a Celebration Day concert film. Plant said about the Soho Farmhouse performance, "It was cathartic, dare I say. People go, oh, that's good. He was never going to do that, but I didn't really do it. I just blurted it out, because it's such an important song to me for where I was at the time and where I was with Jimmy Page, the guitar player for Led Zeppelin, and with John Paul Jones, bass player, and Bonzo. We called him Bonzo in the band, but of course he was the thumper. We used to call him Thumper from Bambi, but we called him Bonzo and Thumper, and he was John Bonham on the drums, on the rockin' kit. So on that night, it was what it was. It was a trial by fire. But I felt better at the end than at the beginning. It's because what happens is you're nervous at the beginning. And then when you start to sing and you start to feel that beat, and the gospel singers, and there's a wind on down the road, then you're feeling comfortable and you're letting yourself go. When the interview suggested that it could be the last time he ever sings the song, Plant said, "Yes, I think you're probably right about that. I have gotten around to doing this ice skating rinks in Finland yet with a small orchestra. So I don't think I'll be doing that, but I don't know. Who knows? Something could change somewhere. Spirit and heart could come back into the soul. It's a long song. Who can remember all those words? In an October 2023 interview with Led Zeppelin News, they've got their own news organization. Is it fake news? Better not be one of them goddamn fake news, Led Zeppelin fake news. Is that what we're calling them? Former REEF, or Reef, former Reef and current Gold Ray guitarist Kenwyn House, who played alongside Plant at the Oxfordshire event, said that he had no idea Stairway to Heaven was on that set list that night. I didn't know it. He arrived at rehearsal. I didn't even know we were going to play that until Robert Plant showed up to rehearsals. It was a combination between uber excitement and terrification, or what? Excitement and terrifying. What the hell did I call it? I literally only, you ain't gonna believe this. I literally only had 4 days to learn everything. After receiving a phone call from Andy Taylor, guitar technician. Oh, from Taylor's guitar technician. That's the guitar brand Taylor's. Phone call from Taylor's guitar technician on October 15, 2023, if I'm going to be precise, asked if he would be available for a charity performance less than a week later. When Robert Plant walked into the room and I had to play Stairway to Heaven with him for the first time in a small enclosed environment, that was probably the most pressured professional situation I had ever been in, ever come across. I'm in a small room with my bleeding bloody hero playing the most famous goddamn song in the bleeding bloody world. House went on to say that Plant, who has shared somewhat conflicting feelings about the track during interviews throughout the years, only agreed to perform Stairway to Heaven after it was requested by someone. Yes, you can't be saying, nah, we ain't gonna do it when someone who donated a significant amount of money to the aforementioned The Cancer platform. You can't say, we don't do it, bro. Even for little Tim? No, we don't do Stairway to Heaven, because that's where he's going. If we sing that song, it might usher him in. Someone bid a huge amount of money for him to sing this song. There is a good circle of karma around it that raised a 6-figure sum for that charity, that one song. So at least $100,000, 6 figures. And it probably was more than that. Someone wanted to hear Robert belt that sumbitch out one more time and was willing to pay at least $100,000 to do it. Plant, Taylor, and House were joined at the event by Pink Floyd's David Gilmour was there, bass player Guy Pratt of Rod Stewart, drummer David Palmer, Taylor's son, Andy J. Oh, Andy J was up there. Taylor on guitar, Danish singer Anne Rani, and Croatian multi-instrumentalist Dino Juljusic. Whitesnake, this is Dino's biography here is Whitesnake Trans-Siberian Orchestra. That's some of the fellers from Sabotage, right? It's all like Christmassy. I'm not a fan of that. Okay, I think we're done with this. I think he got to the bottom of it, didn't he say? Lyrically, now I can relate to it because it was so long ago. I would have no intention ever to write along those abstract lines anymore. He's talking about something. The way that Jimmy Page took the music through, and the way the drums, we got an old thumper banger over there, the drums reached almost climaxed. And then continued, it's a very beautiful piece, but lyrically now and even vocally, I go, I'm not sure about that. All right, we're done with that because we got to get into Sebastian. I thought this was weird. He recalls a conversation with Sophie Taylor a few years back, or some time back, where she said she inspired him to say, hey, guess what? You've been in a band called Skid Row, but you could do things too as a solo artist. I guess it was Sophie Simmons that told him that you could keep going on with your life and your career. Are you a fan of singing? And you liked what you did with Skid Row? Guess what, buddy? You can go out and do it yourself. I don't know if that's the case, and I'm sorry for being so snarky today, guys. I'm going to tell you something right now, what happened to me. I've been listening to this breakdance playlist. It's got all, I mean, I'm going way back into my 6th grade, 5th grade, something like that. There's this song, Itching for a Scratch, and there's another one called Street Dancers, but this Itching for a Scratch, and it's talking about how, he's itching to lay a scratch down, and even goes to the doctor, and the doctor says, hey, here's a beat, but don't be scratching around me because it's contagious. I mean, this song. But here's what happened, and I'm ashamed and I feel bad about it because I'm on the bus. I'm holding the fart. I'm holding the fart in because you don't do that. I'm the type of guy that doesn't do that. If I'm on a date, I don't just blast it and go, hey, fuck those onion rings, huh? I excuse myself, and then I even do the where you pat the pants in the back so you make sure all the air, so you don't sit down at the table again with your sexy date, and then all the leftover comes out. But anyways, I hold this fart. I get off the bus. This girl's running across the street. She's trying to catch that bus. It's pulling away. Boom. She runs off to the bus. I'm thinking she got on the bus, right? So I'm at that crosswalk there where she had just run across, and I'm waiting for the light to change. And I've got Itching for a Scratch in my ears. So, and I just blasted that fart that I was holding. And it was loud. I had my earbuds in, but you know by the rumble and stuff, it's loud. And she is right behind me. And I turned and saw her there, and I didn't even look or anything to, because I felt like if I turned around, looked her in the eyes, she communicated, yeah, I heard that. Even though it's outside and it's on a street corner, I heard it, okay? I just felt like I would have to make her understand I had been holding that. I just felt like I would have to apologize or something like that. But if you get a chance, go listen to that. Itching for a Scratch. He's like, ha. I went to the doctor. He said, take the beat. Get out of here. Get down the street. Because that shit's contagious. It's just good. There's so many good tunes. There's Street Dancers, and that one's where, if you see us on the subways in New York, you better watch out, because we're the Street Dancers, right? But if you find the time. Anyways, back to this. Sebastian Bach, and I just wanted to quickly and briefly, we got so many stories to get to, but I wanted to quickly and briefly get to him to see what Sophie, basically, is she getting 10%? Let's find out. In a new interview from Remy Maxwell of 104.1 Jack FM radio station, Sebastian Bach spoke about how Skid Row's early multi-platinum success enabled him to live out his rock and roll dreams. He said, in part, as transcribed by Blabbermouth, everybody in life wants to know the secrets to success, man. The secrets to happiness, the secrets to longevity, the secrets to all those things, man. And when I met Gene Simmons, Kiss bass vocalist, you know him? His daughter, not Gene, but his daughter, Sophie. It was at a PLayboy Mansion. What the hell's going on? It was at the PLayboy Mansion on the first date that I ever went on with my wife, Susie. Okay, Suzanne was there. We don't want you trying to pull no fast one with Sophie's. This was 8 years ago or 9 years ago. It was New Year's Eve at the PLayboy Mansion when it was still rockin'. Bruno Mars was there. That name sounds familiar to me, and I'm sure if I heard his hot banger, it's like, it's up there with Feeling Hot, 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 ba-doo-doo, or what was Ricky Martin's tune? Living la vida loca. Bruno Mars was there playing, man. And it was a classic Playboy party. I said to Sophie Sentiments, I go, can I tell you what your dad did for me? Because he's a huge Kiss fan. And she kind of looked like, oh, great. Like, just what she wants to hear right now, right? She's at the New Year's Eve party. Hugh Hefner's there. Everyone's digging it, baby. And he's going to talk about my dad. She kind of looked at me, oh, great. Like, it's just what I wanted to hear. And she goes, okay, tell me, what did my dad do for you? And her dad loves to tell me, can I tell you what I've done for America? Can I tell you what I've done for this world? And I go, I was such a fan of your dad's band that I got so into it, I figured out how to make my own band and be successful. Not as successful, and mind you, let's mind that. We're definitely not as successful as your dad's band, but as far as record sales and stuff, almost as successful as your dad, but not quite. And I got to have a great life and buy my mom a car and have a home and everything. That's all you bought your mom was a car? And all my dreams came true and 1,000,000 times more because I was a fan of your dad when I was a kid. I mean, how amazing is that? She says, I need another refill. I'm going to go get another drink, thank you. I'll be back, Sebastian. Just hold that thought. I need to go get a drink. Oh, Bach continues to her. I never had to work a day in my life. I don't consider rock and roll work. I get to create stuff. I just made my new record. Oh, he's going to pitch the record to Sophie Simmons. I spent all day yesterday finalizing. She's like, Jesus Christ. Finalizing your record. Okay, interesting. I get to create stuff. I just made my new record. I spent all day yesterday finalizing my new solo CD packaging. That's the kind of thing I love to do. So, how cool a band is that? And I'm not the only one who was inspired by Kiss, Sophie. Please let me give you a long laundry list of bands that... Well, the late Pantera musicians, Dimebag Darrell. The late Pantera musicians, Sophie Simmons. You know what either... Dimebag Darrell Abbott and Vinnie Paul Abbott. Have you ever heard of a guy that goes like this? That's Tom Morello. He was also a fan. There's a good side effect of being a fan of a band. Hey, buy a house, buy your mom a car, and just because you know you know how to rock, dude. Just because you know how to rock, dude. He's so right, isn't he? Isn't he so right about everything? This past November, Bach released a new single, What Do I Got to Lose? Did you watch the reaction video? We did that on this channel. The song's official music video was directed by Jim Luval and Tony Aguilera. What Do I Got to Lose was co-written by Sebastian and Miles Kennedy. There you go. That's why it was tasty. That's why it was extra tasty. You get Miles Kennedy involved in that sumbitch, and it's going to be tasty. And Michael Elvis Basquiat. Now, if it was Elvis Costello, I don't know who this guy is. Is he someone great? The latter, they're going to tell us. The latter of whom also served as the track's producer for the video. Sebastian was joined by his former Skid Row bandmate, drummer Rob Affuso. Is that the guy that was in the video? Okay. I'm trying to remember what was in that video, but didn't the guy go, hey man, aren't you Sebastian Bach? I think you suck or something, and then the video kicked off? I can't remember. For the release of What Do I Got to Lose, the singer, songwriter, author, Broadway star, and actor teamed up with Reigning Phoenix Music. Okay, I think we're done. Bach hasn't released a full-length disc since Give 'Em Hell, which came out in March of 2014, like its predecessor 2011's Kicking and Screaming Will I Not Put Out Another Record for 3 years. That's the full title of it. The disc was released through Frontiers Music SRL, the Italian label, which specializes in what's commonly called AOR. What is that? Is it arena rocks? I think all you guys have explained this to me before, but the genre of rock music called AOR. Open air rock? Arena open rock? I don't know. A term, are they going to tell us? A term that once signified a popular radio format, they're going to tell us. Album-oriented rock, that can't be it, right? That's not it. But nowadays applies to acts whose airplay is marginal. Yeah. Album-oriented rock. So Foreigner, Steely Dan. We got any Steely Dan heads in the building? I like them. That one solo on that one tune, man, it's just like so amazing. Back Jack, do it again. Go listen to that song. Listen to that solo. You don't even have to listen to the song. Find the solo, listen to it. It's just so, the timing of it and everything, it's probably one of the greatest solos ever written. I itch my leg.
Do you know this guy? This guy right here, that's Ace Frehley. That's Ace Frehley. He's got his blue nail polish on. I like to, you know, paint him up so I look nice. Sometimes.
Oh, he's going to tell us that Ace Frehley, he was really aggravated when Paul Stanley, you remember when Paul Stanley said piss? If they got them to come to do the gigs, they'd be piss. And that struck off a whole new whole thing there. We'll get through it. We'll see what's happening. We got a lot of shit to get through here. Ace Frehley has once again slammed Paul Stanley. From the comments the Kiss frontman made about the original Kiss guitarist on the Howard Stern show. Back in March 2023, radio host Howard Stern asked Stanley why he feels why a fellow original Kiss member, Gene Simmons, didn't perform with Frehley and drummer Peter Criss at the Rock Hall introduction in 2014. Stanley said, "The Rock Hall organizers were demanding, quite honestly, that we play with the two original guys, Peter and Ace. And at this point, that would be demeaning to the current Kiss band. And also, could give some people some confusion. Because if you saw people on stage who looked like Kiss but sounded like that, maybe we should be called Piss." You did that as a dig, Paul. You just did that because you knew that clip was going to get out there on the interwebs and somebody was going to tell Ace that you called him Piss. And that's what you did. You were being facetious and vindictive is what you were doing there. Ace addressed Paul Stanley's comments in a new interview with the Rock of Nations with Dave Kinchin and Shane McAaron podcast. And he says,
"I don't know what caused or went through Paul's puny brain head when he made that statement. If me and Peter performed with them on stage, we'd sound like Piss." That's what he said. But it really aggravated me, and I got really mad, and I punched a bag at home. I had my beautiful wife hold the bed pillow up, and I punched it several times. Bang! There's one for Gene Simmons. Bang! There's one for Paul. But it really aggravated me, and I got really mad, and I went on the Eddie Trunk show. And I promised to come back in a month or 2 weeks and spill some serious dirt. And speaking to my attorney and my managers, my agent, my close confidants, they all said, "Why don't you take the high road?" And I did. And I really didn't spill anything that most people didn't really already know.
That means he's got some goodies on him, right?
They didn't file taxes in 1978.
It's like, well, you don't either, buddy. You know, what does he have?
Gene Simmons snorted a line of coke in 1979. That was the disco era.
Circling back to whether he and Chris could have performed with Kiss at the Rock Hall, Fraley said,
Peter isn't the drummer that he used to be. I love the guy to death. We were always closest friends and partied together. Like on the Tom Snyder show, boy, that was a night, wasn't it? But he's had several injuries, and he's just not the drummer he was way back then. I mean, he can still get up there. I'll give him that. He can still get up there and play 3, 4, 5 songs. There was no reason why, when we got inducted into the Rock Hall of Fame, that Peter couldn't have performed 3 songs flawlessly. Because he's still got the chops. He just can't play 2 hours.
I mean, the guy is like, isn't he hit 80? All right, should we get out of this, guys? We got Dave Mustaine. He's gonna say, guys, quit being so damn stupid and goofy. Timu's perfectly good for this band. We're not getting Marty Friedman back. Kiko's down the road. Timu is perfectly good for this band. Dave Mustaine. Timu Mantasari is the right guitarist for Megadeth. And they're going to tell us all this, so I won't recap, because I tend to do that sometimes. I sit here and talk to you about bullshit, and then they say it in these things. I'm not saying I have a photographic memory. I don't. In a new interview with Brazil's Radio Rock Megadeth, Dave Mustaine spoke about the band's new guitarist, Timu Mantasari. 37-year-old Finnish musician who's perfectly good, isn't he? Stepped in last September for Megadeth's longtime axeman, Kiko Loureiro, who announced earlier that month that he would be sitting out the next leg of the Megadeth Crush the World tour in order to stay home with my family in Finland. It was later revealed that Mantasari would continue to play guitar for Megadeth for the foreseeable future, with Loureiro seemingly having no plans to return. Asked by a Radio Rock, what he looks forward to in the next chapter of Megadeth, Mustaine said, well, I'm expecting us to keep doing what we've been doing. Kiko had recommended Timu, and Timu is an exceptional guitar player, dare I say. Kiko was at the top of his game when this happened, so we were obviously disappointed. But it was what it was. If Kiko would have said, I don't know anybody and you're on your own, that would have been a lot harder. But Timu is the right guy for Megadeth, I'll tell you that. And Kiko knows that Timu is the right guy for me. So, he actually did us a really, really big favor. And I love him, and I wish the best for him. Everything that he does. Mustaine went on to say that Timu is going to make a lot of people happy on Megadeth's upcoming. Oh, that's the end of the quote, guys. You see the quotes there? The little quotes there? Timu is going to make a lot of people happy on Megadeth's upcoming South American tour, because we're going to be playing some songs that we haven't played for a long time. When he came in, I figured instead of just saying, well, we've got to learn these 30 songs here, I asked him to learn a couple more. I mean, what's the difference when you're learning 30 songs? What's 33, right? Well, if I learn 3, I said he's got to learn 30. That's different. But I asked how to do, I'm losing it. But I asked him to do some other songs that Dirk Van Buren, Megadeth drummer, you know him? He did that Mr. Brightside. Did you watch that video with Dirk Van Buren, where he put his own drumeo or whatever? They take the beat out and they have someone sit down and they make their own beat to it. It's pretty good. Oh, and the fantastic James Lomenzo, Megadeth bass player, have been asking me to play for a very long time. We're adding them now, which is great. So he's saying he appreciates it. What's this about the mentors? Ask what he thinks of the dynamic in the studio will change. I want to get down. I don't want to read all that shit, but I want to get to where it says the mentors. I used to like when I was in my 20s, and I think those guys are shit. It's kind of a show. Who is he talking about shit? We're not even to the mentors yet. Timu, join. Okay, guys, I'm going to read it. God. I might have to cut a story. I think it's going to probably sound similar to the last record. Oh, he's talking about his new record. He says, good news, guys. We're getting to work on it. It's probably going to sound similar to the last record. We had a really successful search during the last record to find our muse, our mojo, and find where our roots were. Because during that time in Megadeth's earlier years, there was so much music that we listened to, and there was so much drugs and alcohol, and so a lot of that stuff, anyone you're talking to, you can get completely different stories about what songs influence Megadeth. I know what influenced me. He's going to say the mentors. And I'm excited about going back and listening to that stuff. But the same thing to me, I hear some of those bands that I used to like. I always kind of badmouth them. I used to like when I was like 20 years old, and I think those guys are shit. It's kind of a shows you the headspace I was in at the time. If I was being goofy and just joking around, there was one band I liked called The Mentors. But they were a comedy band that was about, like, raping ladies and stuff, though, right? Now, I would never think of having a comedy band go out and tour. And wasn't that was El Duce who wasn't he run over by a train? He was drunk? Get in the comments and tell me that. Now, I would never think of having a comedy band go on tour with me. But at the same time, it was fun. It was fun to listen to. Kinko announced his decision to step back from Megadeth in a social media post in November. He wrote in part, "Dear Megadeth fans, I want to share with you the decisions that has been easy for me. It hasn't been so easy for me. In September, I had to step away from the U.S. leg of the tour for family reasons. Looking ahead during 2024, we anticipate an even heavier touring schedule for Megadeth. After thorough reflection and investigations of all kinds and discussions with many people, so with Dave Mustaine and Megadeth's management, we have collectively agreed that it was the right move to extend my absence. I don't want to hinder any of the band's plans, or the hard work and all the incredible people involved in this tour." So there you have that. Mick Mars, someone asked Mick Mars if he was the greatest guitar player of the generations, and he chimed in. So I wanted to hear that. Look at him looking. If that popped out of the closet at you at, say, 3 a.m., I mean, would you jump? Would you go, "Hey, Jesus Christ, Mick, what are you doing in my closet?" Like, I mean, I love that they're taking advantage. I love that he is embracing. Let me say that differently. I love that he is embracing who he is and what he is, because it has a great. He's writing them good tunes, and it's got more of that dark vibe. And if you've got that already, that does that make any sense, or am I being a terrible person right now? Someone's over there going, "Oh, this son of a bitch, call the governor and tell him what he's doing over here." Is Mick Mars one of the most underrated guitar players of the 1980s? He responds. And I'd love it if you got in the comments and told me some of your underrated guitar players of the 80s. Let's keep it to the 80s, okay, and not all time. I like that. I like the idea of just keeping it there. Pardon me while I burp again and have another drink. Guys, this is a podcast. This is where I can do things like this. I give you hours and hours of shit where I don't drink beverages. Let's see. In a new interview with Detroit's WRIF radio station, host Meltdown told Mick Mars. What? Oh, the guy's name? The host is Meltdown? Meltdown's going to tell Mick Mars what he thinks the Motley Crue co-founder is one of the most underrated guitar players of the 80s, buddy. And Mick said, it's transcribed by Beverly, well, that's okay. It's okay with me if you think I am underrated. I think there's a lot of people who think like you. As well as those who don't feel that way so much. Maybe because I don't fly over the frets and do 900 notes. How many notes can I fit between the clicks? I don't know. Probably the guitar player that played a speed that I would have liked to play, but I never really delve into that deep, was Alvin Lee of 10 Years After. Is he good? When he did I'm Coming Home, that, to me, was fast playing. 'Cause it was melodic and the notes were clean. Yes. And it fit the song, and so that was where my face went like, oh, you can do that too. Okay, I see. Guys, I gotta breathe. I'm starting to get lightheaded. After Meltdown told Mars that the guitar solo from Motley Crue's Home Sweet Home is the perfect guitar solo, brah. Mick said, oh, thank you. That just came up. It really just came up. I didn't really have anything planned. I just winged it, actually, and just played it and perfected it. And of course, it really minor things. It was real minor things. But it is what it was when I played it. It's pretty much how it is. I don't know if any of this is making any sense. Last year, Mick, who is currently in a legal battle with Nikki Sixx-Man, Tommy the Lee Man, and Vince Neil over his removal from the band following the decision, yes, told Rolling Stone magazine that he barely played on the Motley Crue's last 3 albums. What? Suffering the death. Really? He barely played? Generation Swine, 1997. New Tattoo, 2000. And Saints of Los Angeles, 2000. I don't think there's one note that I played on Generation Swine. They didn't want my guitar they didn't want my guitar to sound like a guitar, basically. They wanted it to sound like a synthesizer. Yuck! I felt so useless. I'd do a part, they'd erase it, and someone else would come in and play. According to Mars, the situation didn't improve much for the follow-up, the aforementioned New Tattoo. I didn't write any of those songs since I was invited, he said. I think I got one lick on that album. It's an assertion that Sixx denied to Rolling Stone. Mick played lead guitar, rhythm guitar, and any other guitar that's on those records. That's what old Nikki Sixx had to say about it. Very quickly, Motley Crue related, look at these. I mean, I'm loving the idea of it. This Motley Crue action figures, Shout at the Devil reaction figures, and I'm digging those. I don't think I'd ever buy them, but I feel like I would have a sweet spot on the wall to hang all 4 of them perfectly like this is. I mean, wasn't they just great when they had that look? And then they instantly threw that in the trash for Theater of Pain. You know, if they would have had some dark artwork and, you know, Theater of Pain, you're like, and they still came out and said, I'm on my way home, sweet home. You know, I'm just saying. Motley Crue announces Shout at the Devil reaction figures from Super 7. Super 7 has announced the first wave of its Motley Crue reaction figures. Please don't do freaking... They're going to do all of them, aren't they? Theater of Pain, Girls, 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 all of it. Inspired by the band's second album, 1983, Shout at the Devil, the Crue's early makeup heavy look. The set features 3.75-inch versions of Vince Neil, Nikki Sixx, Tommy Lee, and Mick Mars in big hair, makeup, and leather. Each articulated figure comes with an accessory. Oh, what does Vince get? He gets a microphone. I'm going to guess Nikki Sixx gets a can of kerosene and a lighter. Didn't he used to light his jeans on fire? Nikki gets a bass. Oh, shit. And Tommy with a pair of drumsticks. Of course, you're spending more plastic than the four figures together to make a drum set for Tommy to sit behind. God, I'm feeling lucky. What's Mick going to have? I'm going to say guitars. Did Nikki Sixx get a guitar? Yes. Vince got the mic. Nikki got the bass. I'm going to say Mick Mars gets a guitar. What does he get? Mick Mars gets a guitar. Guys, we got it. Originally released in 1983 at the height of the Satanic Panic. Oh my heavens. Shout at the Devil catapulted Motley Crue to stardom. The first time I saw the video for Looks That Kill, instantly went, who dat? Who dat? I want now. And I think I went to school and called him Armored Saint all day long the next day. Did you see Armored Saint? Like, no, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. On the TV, on the television, all that. I'm sorry, you guys. Originally released in 1983 at the height of the Satanic Panic, Shout at the Devil catapulted Motley Crue to stardom, delivering on the hype and promise of their platinum debut, Too Fast for Love. Motley Crue's second album hit the U.S. top 20 and was certified 4 times platinum. For many music fans, Shout at the Devil was the first time they witnessed an album with this imagery. What did I just tell you? And lyrical content on mainstream retail shelves. Just this little quick thing about Shout at the Devil. Shout at the Devil continues to be a cornerstone of Motley Crue's live set, with the band playing up to 4 songs from this iconic album at every show for the last year, the world tour. Fittingly, the original touring cycle for this album saw Motley Crue jump from opening act to full-on arena headliners. I saw them with Ozzy Osbourne. I believe that was my very first concert ever in my life, was Ozzy Osbourne, Bark at the Moon, and Shout at the Devil. Because I saw these guys, I said, oh boy, I was all in. Let's listen to a few bars of Shinedown Singer do the national anthem. Here we go. Oh no, never mind. We don't. I thought I could just hit that button, and I can't. Get on with it then. All right, we're done. We're done with it. Guys, it's time for your comments. That's right. The best part of the show is where we get down here to the nitty-gritty and the meat and potatoes of the whole situation. Mike Buchanan coming in. He's back on a steady diet. On this week's Movies That Are Bad, But We Love Them Anyway, Manos, The Hands of Fate. Yeah, that is terrible. 1966, and oh boy, this one is a doozy. A family is driving across the country when they stumble across a mysterious house inhabited by a satyr man, Torgo. When the family decided to stay over at the house, Mother Margaret is now the object of desire for Torgo. and the owner of the house, the master, a mysterious figure who dresses in black robe decorated with red hands. Fun fact about the man who played Torgo, he was constantly taking LSD during the entire shoot. Well, that makes for an interesting circumstance, which explains his confused behavior and incessant twitching in virtually all of the scenes. Grab your favorite beverage. Sit in your favorite chair, pop some popcorn, and press play. Great. Fantastic. Still Mike Buchanan here. Once again, I find myself getting really tired of all these older bands and their issues. But I will say this, that Kerry King missed out on a great opportunity in calling his new band Kingslayer. Oh my God, dude. Is there a band called Kingslayer? Oh my God. You need to send him an email right now and say, ditch it. Oh, that's good. There's probably a Kingslayer, 2 words, but Kingslayer, 1 word. That's good, dude. That is good. And it's pretty clear as to who wrote the majority of Slayer's music based on what I heard in Carrie's new single. Yes. Which, by the way, is fantastic. I agree. I listened to it. So I couldn't help myself. I listened to it. And I think it's pretty damn good. And it kind of has a throwback, but you could tell he was the main. I believe he wrote most of the lyrics, too. I thought he was the main guitar writer and lyricist. Mike Buchanan, on to Biohazard. I simply cannot wait another second for another new album. Saw these guys a lot when I was still living back east in New Jersey. Some of the best concerts I've been to. And yes, I will be watching the documentary. And life gets smarter. What was the tune that they did with were they with Onyx? Remember the movie Judgment Day? And you took a metal band or a hardcore band or whatever and you paired them with a rap. Faith No More was with the Booyah Tribe. And I thought, wasn't Sepultura on there too? Tell me who Biohazard with. I wasn't say it was those hip hoppers Onyx. Mike Buchanan is still not happy with Judas Priest not performing Painkiller when I saw them live last year. Priest is one of those bands that I got into very early on when I got into metal. I played the crap out of their classic album up until Turbo came out. I liked Turbo too, but it's okay to have differences. That was just a weird sounding album. They just said, let's go full balls keyboard. Let's do it. Let's dive in. And I understand. People are like, I don't know. It was just a weird sounding album. But I have gotten into Turbo. Hey, there you go. Over the years. Rob is one heck of a good guy. Yes, he is. Mike Buchanan on Rat. Rat will never get back together, so stop it already. Another of those I'm tired of hearing all the BS bands. Hang on, I'll get back to my post. ... Gotta take a piss. Okay, I'm back. Yeah. Hey, when you get my age, when it's time to go, it's time to go. I will not apologize. You start to get up there in the years, and then you go, what is so wrong with wearing an adult diaper? I mean, I'm not that bad yet, guys. But, when you got to go to the bathroom, you got to go. I don't like to keep it all bottled up in there. But it is weird, though. We'll go off on a little tangent here. Maybe a scientist that's listening to this, but it is weird. And maybe it's because your brain's turned off. But when you're awake, you got to go all the time. But then you make it through an 8-hour period. The instantly when you wake up, you go, I got to go to the bathroom. But maybe that's just your brain turning off. We'll have to get a hold of Bashar and ask him. Ask him and see what he's got to say. And now, your Jive Talkin jokes of the week. I was abducted by aliens. They made me wash my hands, clean my room, and eat my vegetables. Turns out I was on the mothership. Today I saw someone waving, and I wasn't sure whether they were waving at me or at someone behind me. In other news, I was fired from my lifeguard job today. Oh, that's a good one. My wife left me because of my infatuation with music by Genesis. She said I wouldn't amount to anything. But take a look at me now. He knew I was going to do that. But there's just an empty space, and there's nothing left to remind me. Was that a duet? That was from that movie that every woman in the world loved. I remember my mother going, oh, best movie of the year. Take a look at me now. My wife left me because of my obsession with music by the Monkees this time. We got back together, but then at first I thought she was joking. Then I saw her face. Dun, 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 I'm a believer. My wife left me because of my gambling addiction. But I bet you I can win her back. See, that is fantastic what he's done there, because he's done a trifecta. He's done the 3 my wife jokes, and the third one was bringing you right back to the 2 other reasons why she left him in the first place. This guy's a genius. Mike Buchanan says, dang it, I missed out on National Ferris Wheel Day yesterday. Can't wait until it comes around again next year. And finally, I kind of lost that was another joke there, and finally, I went and saw some rather odd snow sculptures yesterday, but perhaps the strangest of them was a sort of cow lighting a stick of dynamite. A cow lighting a stick of dynamite? In fact, I think it might have been the A Bomb and a Bull snowman. Oh, my heavens, buddy. Zayas coming in here. I gave you your heart. You can clearly see that. Zayas coming in. I'm going to go positive and just say how great Rat is. Never got to see them during their heyday because they never played Western Canada. Well, hello from Canada. I always rated them as the best of the top tier 80s metal bands. I put them up there too, to be honest with you. I put them more kind of in a Scorpions than Poison or whatever, you know. I can listen to all of their albums and not skip a track. DeMartini is not mentioned enough, in my opinion. Tons of great riffs, fills, and solos, yet he was a restrained soloist. Rat never did a piano ballad or had tearjerker type songs. Really? It was all relatively heavy. I respect Piercy's attempt to keep Rat name afloat, but it is, he's got more here, but it seems like reconciliation is not possible, and I respect how DeMartini quietly departed with no fanfare of coming solo releases. The guy is done with music, and that's fine. A lot of heartfelt piano ballads of the day didn't ring true because the guy singing them, this is a good point he's making, was surrounded by chicks 24/7 and was in the news for cheating on every woman he ever was involved with. Very good point. Bang. Zayas, there you go. Oh, we got White Bread coming in here. If Satan himself couldn't get Lombardo and Slayer together one last time, there was no hope for it. They don't need each other. Period. White Bread on the new KK song is good. I like it a lot better than the first time hearing South of Heaven, expecting Rain and Blood too. Interesting. I didn't even think, because when South of Heaven, when that first riff kicked off, I just went, oh, we're heading to fucking Satan town, baby. But that's interesting because that Rain and Blood was just furious fire. And this one laid back a lot. That's a good point. I mean, yeah. White Bread says the biohazard doc will be good. Drew Stone, that is doing it, used to be their manager back in the day and also shot their videos. I never expected them to get back together. When Evan was doing his porn career, he did the pornos too with his wife. The other guys didn't seem to want to be associated around that, from what I read. Well, I mean, they're a hardcore band from fucking Brooklyn, New York. It's like, what are you doing, Evan? You over here showing your fucking dick to every Tom, Dick, and Harry in fucking town? Is that what you're doing? You're a tough fucking guy like that? I can totally see that. All right, buddy, there's your heart. Miss Althea coming in here. On Kerry King, I agree that he didn't really have to say Lombardo is dead to him, regardless of how petty or how serious any given butting of the heads may be. That statement is pretty harsh, especially when we all know how quickly and unexpectedly someone can be taken from this earth. That aside, I don't think I ever noticed how much Kerry reminds me of wrestler Jim the Anvil Neidhart. I know who you're talking about. May he rest in peace. Was he the fella that they were bringing in on the pulley system to the arena, and then it broke or whatever? Tell me if that's the right guy. I want to say that was a Hart brother. Was he the Anvil Hart? Miss Althea on Biohazard, here I go again, y'all. As I have mentioned in other comments, Hide, may he also rest in peace, was a huge fan of theirs. Oh my God. And it is a shame he is not still around to enjoy the documentary and their new music that's coming up. I recently found a translation of an interview where Hide talked about seeing Biohazard play at the New Music Summit during X's first visit to New York. Oh, fuck yeah. 1989. So he would have saw Biohazard. You bet your sweet and juicy, you little guy over there. You're going to rock to us tonight. I'll tell you that right now. Hide fell in love with them, but they weren't signed yet. He said, no accent here. I want their demo tape. I want their demo tape at all costs. So I went to their dressing room and managed to get it. What that means exactly, I'm not so sure. What that means exactly, I am not so sure. I want to know, especially if he was drunk, and he probably was. Evan and Tara Patrick, yes, are long since divorced, but he did go on went on to marry yet another porn star. Don't recall her name, and I don't feel like looking it up. Yeah, you look up a porn star's name, all sorts of stuff comes up. You're on there for days. Not sure if they are still together or not. Miss Althea on Rob Halford. He's the metal god, do you know? He should be promoted from metal god to metal messiah. A super bonus points for the mention of Crown Royal. My dad, may he rest in peace, too, worked for Seagram for over 30 years. So cheers to anyone and everyone out there who enjoys Crown Royal in any way, shape, or form. Miss Althea on Stephen Piercy, and why wouldn't he be done with reaching out? And why wouldn't he? Jesus. And why wouldn't he be done with reaching out to the other surviving Rat members when we all know damn well yet another reunion would be ill-fated? ? It couldn't technically happen anyway since Robin is dead. And may he rest in peace. Damn. Damn, this list is long. Yeah. There's a lot of rest in pieces in this comment. While Piercy may be able to be civil with Juan and Warren, he and Blotz, okay, yeah, I'm not sure of the beef. So he and Blotz, they call him Blotzo or Bobby Blotzer? Bobby Blotz. He and Blotz hate each other. I don't think there is any hope of their relationship, for their relationship. As much as I adore Rat, what it once was needs to keep some degree of dignity. And yes, Michael Schenker sure as hell played live shows with them on the Detonator tour. I was at a couple of them, so I'm a witness. Oh, for a minute there, I thought you were going to say as a waitress, because I read ahead sometimes, and I shouldn't do that at all. And I saw that, and I was like, I was at a couple of them as a waitress, but as a witness, you saw them. You saw Mr. Unshanker with his rock and roll guitar playing some Lay It Down. Us, we're laying it down. He loves his guitars. Having to go right before the ritual reading of my comment and you left the camera rolling. Oh man, I am busting. And pissed off joke would be entirely too easy. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to read that again. I am busting and, quote, pissed off joke would be entirely too easy. You can add Crush Groove to the list of great 80s hip-hop movie soundtracks, by the way. Really? Crush Groove. 80s. I'm totally down for that. I'm trying to keep that Crush Groove with a K in my head. So I'm going to check it out. Anthony, and it is Anthony's song there. Mama Leone left a note on the door. She said, "Son," that's Moving Out, Anthony's song, because Anthony's finally moving out. Shane D, how about you making an avatar of yourself, then you hack the system? Oh, I can't do that. So you can step in for Paul Stanley on vocals. Love God. I can only do that voice. I can't do, he's an amazing singer, guys. He had 40 years of great voice. Shane D, how about you make an avatar of yourself and then go hack the system, get in there, Paul Stanley vocals. You are way better singer than Mr. Starr. LOL. Laughing emoticon with tears down eyes and signature. Thank you, Anthony. Gina coming in here, got some eyes and a smile emoticons. Bang, there's your heart. Chris coming in here. The new song by Priest is called Crown of Horns. I knew it was Crown of something. And now that I'm thinking about it, that is Crown of Thorns with the T taken off. So it's a pretty cool title. And I bet you there's a million Crown of Horn songs out there by a lot of satanic bands. This one, Michael Sweet. People get pissed off if I accidentally say Matthew Sweet. But yeah, Crown. Okay, but he says it's a good song about Jesus, and I do believe Rob Halford is born again. Or I heard him on the Mark Maron podcast, and he was saying that he's found spirituality again. Chris here again. Shane, when you do a picture in a picture, you make yourself way too small. Make your picture bigger, brother. My eyeballs hurt. That's duly noted. I will upgrade that image. I've never really, I've wondered what the hell was, if it was too big, too small. You know, all guys do that unless you're confident in, oh, it's not small. You wonder, is it too big? Is it too small? What is it? You know, and so I wondered about that. And so I will fix that. An S. Banks coming in here. You should react. Oh my goodness. You should react to Titanic, a Christian metal band featuring Robert Sweet. Is he the sweetest boy out of the sweet boys? Is he the sweetest? If we talk to Mama Sweet, would she say, Robert's the sweetest boy? Robert's the sweetest. Michael's used to be a little shenanigan doer, but Robert's my sweet boy. It's got him on the drums. They have multiple albums, including Maiden Voyage and Screaming in Silence. Well, I'm going to have to leave your comment free of awards because we do not put the comments here. If I give that and I reward for that, then it'll be flooded. And I want to know your thoughts and opinions because I like you as a person. I want to know what's going rattling around in your brains instead of requests. Okay? So S Banks, I give you a big thanks. But we're gonna move out. Okay, I can't think of 5 things at once, guys. I gotta get me a beat. Turn the damn thing on. Beats, patterns. That's what I said. I gotta feel it, man. I gotta feel it. Okay. All right. Let's get ourselves. Yeah. When you jive. You jive good now. When we jive talk, we jive rock. We jive rock, we jive talk all night. Come on, baby. You jive me. I love you. Come on, baby, love you.